Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for my recap of Greenleaf. Yay! I'm excited because I watched 4 seasons in less than a week. So I am caught up. So I am all excited. Like I told y'all in my weekly rambling, if you watched it, that I got addicted to the show and I enjoy watching it. So I decided to go ahead and do a little recap of the show. I'm kind of sad I didn't catch on a long time ago, but whatever. Because it's good, and now it's about to this like the final season or whatever like that. I really am gonna miss this show because I then got like all addicted to the goddamn thing, and now it's about to go off. So I'm upset about that. But I'll just because some of them have, I think season 2 had the most episodes, or season 1, so either like 10 to 13 episodes. So I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. The sad thing is that I did get spoiled watching it on Netflix, and there was no commercials. I didn't have to wait for the next episode. So I'm kind of upset that I'm on Real Live right now and there are commercials and I have to wait till next week for the next episode. So I'm upset about that because I was spoiled with just hitting next episode. But here we are. This is Greenleaf season 5, episode 3, and it was titled The Third Day. All right, so it opens up with Grace sitting on the deck. She's looking out at the lake or whatever, and then she sees a car drive by or whatever. It's the reporter, her ex-boo or whatever. I can't think of his name, his real name, but it's Rick Fox with his old fine self. He was there because she was like, what are you doing here or whatever like that. He was like, well, I got an early flight to Vegas. And she was like, to look into the lending company. Because remember last week, the white guy had told them about this lending company and that Bob Whitmore was dealing with or whatever. He was like, don't bring it up again. Tell the reporter, don't knock on my door no more, yada, yada, yada. So this week, they are trying to figure out what's up with this lending company. It looked like they, whoever was involved with the lending company is trying to make it look like it doesn't exist. So it looks like they were doing like refinancing loans or something like that, but then they shut it down or something. So something fishy is going on with this loan company. But we know Bob Whitmore got something fishy with him anyway, because Phil up here writing his books, he writing his sermons, he writing everything for him. So Bob Whitmore ain't nothing without Phil. I think Phil need to go ahead and snitch him out, but I don't think he will, because he probably got something on Phil. That's what I think. Because why wouldn't he just be like, I can snitch you out and tell the world that I'm writing on your stuff and like you really nothing or whatever. So he must have something on Phil. That's why he won't snitch him out. But at any rate, Grace says she wishes that she could go with the reporter or whatever like that. He asked about how AJ was doing. She said that she hasn't seen him. And like he still won't let her back there or whatever like that, and his 3-day hold is over the next day or whatever. And he was saying, because she was like, well, you got a free trip to Vegas. And he was like, no, I paid for my ticket out of my own pocket. She was like, what? He was like, I got fired last night. She was like, wait, what? Who? He was like, look, my editor called me last night and was like, we don't need to be doing this story. And then of course, Rick Fox, he had questioned the editor like, well, this man about to run for Senate. Shouldn't we kind of look into him? He running H&H. He about to take over Calvary. Like, shouldn't we look into him or whatever? So all them questions he was asking got him fired. Because of course, Bob then probably paid the editor off or some shit like that. Like, y'all know how they be doing. She was just like, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. He was like, it's all right. I'm going to go over here to Vegas. You take care. He gave her a little kiss on the lips. She looked kind of like, what? We back at that again? Like that. And then we go to the next scene with Karissa. I told y'all in my weekly rambling, I don't like her. She annoys the fuck out of me. And Jacob need a man up. That's all I got to say about that. So Karissa, she wake Jacob up. Jacob in the bed knocked out. She opened up the curtain, so the bright ass sun popping up in there, bing. all up in there. She started fussing about it's morning time and people got jobs, you know, like some people got jobs or whatever, because we know he got fired from both his jobs, child. So she all fussing and whatnot, doing what she do best. And then she was saying like she got a meeting with Dante, because last season, was it last season? Yeah, last season, Dante said he was going to donate. I don't know, was it last season or this? I don't know, y'all. I watched it all at one time, so it's blending in. Said he was going to donate some money to her school. So that's why she's meeting with him or whatever. She was like, I'm going to have a late meeting with Dante because he's Dante or whatever like that. And she was just like, I want you to pick the baby up. So he was just like, And so she was like, that's exactly why I want full custody, because you act like you can't pick up your son or whatever. He was like, I didn't say I couldn't do it. She was like, you ain't say you could. So pick him up or whatever like that. And so he was just like, if it's all like that, then just move out. And she was just like, I will, as soon as I know that me and my kids will be taken care of. And then she spins and runs out. I said, oh, I wish my maid would just slap her again. Can she slap her again? Oh my goodness. Anyway, we see May and Bishop. They at the table. They searching for church names. His memory going in and out. And May recognizes this because last episode, he had forgot that they had discussed the wedding date or whatever. So she's noticing like something ain't right, because he was naming like all these names that it could be for the church, and she was looking it up on the computer like, no, that name already taken and stuff like that. He named one church name, and she was like, Bishop, you been to that church? Like, what are you talking? He was like, I've been to what church? What church I've been to or whatever. And she was like, you been to that church? And he was like, what? So she knows something ain't right. She like, you need to get a physical. I don't care what you talking about. You want to get a physical. He was like, I'm fit as what he said? He said, I'm fit as a racehorse or some shit. And she was like, and racehorses die every day. I love her. She be cracking me up. So then Charity came downstairs or whatever like that. Bishop was like, come on, you know, Charity, come over here, sit down and stuff. She was like, no, Daddy, I'm going good. I'm all right or whatever. I got to go to work. And so May was like, sit down. You heard what your father said, sit down or whatever. So then he sits her down, or she finally comes over there with this little short dress. I said, you going to church? Okay. I mean, it was cute, but she sat down and stuff. And he was asking her like not for a position, but to work at the new church or whatever. And she was like, well, I'm not doing music. I told you I'm not doing music. And he was like, well, you could be associate pastor or whatever. And she was like, I'm already associate pastor at the H&H or whatever. And he was like, what, you gonna keep working there or whatever like that? And I forgot what May was saying, but she was cracking me up the whole entire time. Every time she said something, I was dying laughing. She was she was so funny. She was cracking me up. And she was just like, what she say? She said something like, I'm already assistant pastor or something like that. And May was like, are you sure you gonna stay there or something like that? She was like, but what make you think I don't have no plan to overcome and prevail or whatever like that? She was just like, okay, whatever, Charity, if that's what you think type thing. Charity storms off. And I think May and Bishop was still at the table, and that's what she told him, like, I got an appointment for you on Monday, so you will be going or whatever. He was like, what? Child, next we see Jacob knocking on Tasha's door. So he back at her house. She all dressed up, child. He was like, you kind of dressed up to be going to such and such area. She was like, yeah, but this all I got left or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. And she was like, I just be dressing in black since Macy died and stuff. And he was like, oh, okay. And so they meet somebody named Terry. So Terry is Macy's other sister. So remember, Rochelle was one sister. Then it was Macy, which no one seemed to know Macy existed. They just thought it was two sisters. So Terry is the other sister or whatever like that. So they want to go meet her. And he said he wants to ask her, what did he say? He wants to ask her if she believed that the bishop killed her father or whatever like that. Then we see Sophia and Zora. Because the last episode, Nikki done sent everybody Sophia titty pics that she sent to Dante. I said, oh, girl. So they trying to figure out if it's on social media or whatever like that. It's not on social media, praise God. Because Nikki could have went to jail. I mean, I think she can still get charged for child porn. No. Is Sophia underage? No, she in college now, so she probably 18. She an adult. Yeah, so never mind. Because I was about to say she could be charged with child porn, but since she an adult, it's all right. Well, it's not all right, but y'all know what I mean. So it's not on social media and nothing like that. Sophia and them happy. She sees Nikki's bag over there. She like, is this Nikki's bag? And Zora was like, yeah, that's her bag. So she started throwing her clothes all around the room. Of course, Nikki walk in there with all her attitude and stuff. Like, what the is you doing? Like, blah, blah, blah. Girl, they get the fussing. Sophia done told her like that 9 pounds of makeup you got on don't make you this and stuff. And then Nikki was like, yeah. What she said? Your breath stink. So Sophia said her breath stink or some shit. And so Nikki was like, yeah, it's something that you'll never taste again. I said, oh girl, no. Brush your teeth, girl, after that. But anyway, so then she said something like to Sophia, like, at least she was like, no. She was like, at least I can have babies or some nonsense. Sophia tried to grab her child. They get to tussling and stuff. Zora ended up putting Nikki out. Nikki was like, oh, for real? After all the stuff that she did to you and you want to put me out? All right, boo. You foul right now. I'm out. Sophia just looked at Zora like, really? You told her I couldn't handle kids? And Zora was like, I swear I didn't tell her, whatever. How she found out? Girl, bye. Then we see Noah. Noah is at the house. Everybody, you know, May and Bishop, they say hi to him and stuff like that. They both, Grace and Noah both tell him like they haven't seen AJ yet and stuff like that. May just kept going on and on about how fine Noah was. And I was like, is she really trying to hook them back up together? Like, that's not going to be a thing. He just got out of a marriage. Like, calm down, slow down. And so she was asking Noah, like, how is his mom doing and stuff and how she feel about AJ. And Noah was like, well, she just really wants to see her grandson, basically. She don't really care about what's going on and stuff like that. Then we see Grace. She look all real down in the dumps. I understand, like, she, like, upset that her son just tried to commit suicide and stuff like that. But I'm gonna need Grace to just kind of, like, get a hold of herself. Because she's just angry and just, all over the place. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Then we see Charity, child. She in her office, and Pastor Slimeball, or aka Phil, he come in there and he wants her to do the welcome speech or the welcome address or whatever in church. She was just like, what? No, I'm not doing that. Won't you ask Judy to do that? She about to be the first lady. I'm about to be a whole pastor up in here. I'm not finna do no welcome speech or nothing like that. He was like, yeah, but you know, that's the last Sunday in the church. It's gonna mean something or whatever. And she was just like, I'm ready to preach and stuff. He was like, you gonna preach? She was like, what about next Sunday? He was like, well, I gotta run some things through Bob and stuff like that. So she was like, yeah, so not next Sunday then. And he was like, well, Judy needs help with the music. She was like, didn't I say I'm not doing no music no more? I am an associate pastor. I'm not trying to do no more music and stuff. So he was like, look, if you help her with the music, it might get you an edge up or something like that. And she was like, you know what, I'm gonna say yes to the music, because if she mess up our music, we out. Like, you mess up black people music, we out. We ain't messing with in the church. No, you can't mess up no church music. So she said she was gonna help Judy out or whatever. Then we see Zora and Sophia again. They sitting down and stuff. And Sophia, she been real angry ever since she found out that she couldn't handle more children or whatever like that. So Sophia is like, not Sophia, Zora was like, girl, you gotta get your hormones checked out because you've been angry. She was like, what you want me to do? And she was like, look, I don't know. You need to cook something. You need to do some pottery. Like, you need to do something because you just can't be doing no Fight Club type stuff because you're not about that life for real. So you need to figure it out. But whatever you do, you need to figure it out quickly or whatever. Then we done with them for a little bit because I don't think we saw Zora no more. No, I think we just saw Sophia again. So we back at the house in the living room area or whatever with Noah, Grace, May, and Bishop. They all sitting around. May is asking Noah what his plan is to do. He said his plan is to move back there so he can be closer to AJ or whatever. She was saying, oh, good, because when Zora go off to college, you can get your old cabin back or whatever. And Grace like, Mom, you need to simmer down, like, slow your roll or whatever. And she was like, what's wrong with you? Grace like, why are you mad? Like, what's going on? She was like, nothing, Mom. Like, but you acting like that I'm less than Noah or whatever like that. And May was like, look, I'm just saying, like, we can't avoid the fact that his mom gave him away and he got a daddy who don't even know him. Like, I'm just trying to help y'all find an equal bond so y'all can come together for this young man or whatever like that. Grace kind of gets up, storms off or whatever. Bishop like, oh, he's doing something type thing. He go chase after Grace. And then he was saying, like, Grace was snapping at him. He was looking like, who? Me? You ain't too old to get spanked. That's how he looked at her. And so he was like, look, I understand you mad at your mom or whatever like that. She was kind of out of line. But what she's saying is true. Like, you gotta recognize that this boy ain't have nobody in there in his life. So he going through something. Obviously, he not gonna welcome you with open arms right away. Like, you gave him up, and his dad ain't even know he existed. So he's trying to figure out his way in life or whatever. And so he was saying, like, Noah needs to be in his life. That's his daddy. Like, you can't push him out or whatever. And I don't understand why Grace is so hung strong on pushing Noah out. Like, that's just weird to me. Like, you are allowing yourself to be back in AJ's life. Why Noah can't be? Like, you didn't tell Noah that you was pregnant. Like, it's not like he knew and was like, you know what, F you, I'm not taking care of this baby, yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't see why she's so mad at him. Like, they got to fill in the blanks with that one. But at any rate, she was just basically like, well, I'm not marrying Noah or nothing like that. And he was like, you don't have to, but y'all need to be like a family unit for AJ to kind of thrive and stuff like that. And he was saying, like, that's probably why May was kind of upset because of the situation with Faith and all that other stuff, because it cost them their, you know, like their family unit and stuff like that. We see Tasha and Jacob. He asked her, like, how did she find out that Macy was dead? And she said that the cops that called her from Laredo, they found him in some hotel room dead or whatever. I said, what? I would have thought it would have been like on the side of the road or something, the way them guys was following him, but he was dead in some hotel room or something like that. Nobody heard from Rochelle. She was like, she probably done made it to Mexico. You know, the devil's children usually make it to where they need to go type thing. What happened, child? Oh, she was like, well, why are we asking Terry what happened between the bishop? Like, why don't we just ask the bishop? And he was like, well, I need to get some information before I ask the question and stuff like that. We see Terry. She opened the door. She real cute or whatever like that. Let me see. Oh, she was saying, like, oh, Jacob was getting all excited and stuff like that about the church space and stuff. He was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is real down to earth. Like, this is the kind of preaching I want to do and blah, blah, blah. And so Tasha was like, see, I told you, he not like them other Greenleafs or whatever. And so she was like, so Terry was like, well, what brought you here or whatever like that. And he asked her, like, you think the bishop killed my father? And so she was like, yeah. And he was like, well, why aren't you, you know, doing nothing about it, or if you believe it? And she was like, I'm not like Macy or Rochelle. I believe revenge is mine. What she say? She said, she was quoting a Bible scripture. She said, revenge is mine, said the Lord, or whatever like that. So she gonna leave it up to God's hands. And she said that God promised her that this day will come, because she said that when she opened up the door. And he was like, what day or whatever? And she was saying again, like, God promised her this day will come when a Greenleaf will do the right thing or whatever like that. And so he was asking her about what happened that night, and she said that Macy said that the bishop called her dad down to the church, and that's why he went down there to the church or whatever. And so Jacob was like, well, how you know it was him? Like, was it could have been Mac, it could have been my dad. Like, how do we know? Do you know it was Macy? I'm not Macy. Does Macy know it was the bishop off rep? And she was like, I don't know. And then they can't ask Macy because Macy freaking dead or whatever. So they don't know, child. And so then he asked, like, do you know the relationship between her dad and Loretta Davis? She was like, wait, what? Why are you asking them questions? I'm not answering no more questions or like that. And he was like, it's okay. I think I got enough information for right now, so I can take it to the bishop, so I can get all my ducks in a row, and then I'll be back in touch with you or whatever. So I want to know what's going on with that, because she seemed like, wait a minute, whoa, why you asking that? Like, what's popping or whatever? Because the house was supposed to go to their daddy, so if that is a true statement, y'all, like that house belonged to the Skankies or Stankies, their last name. Y'all know that belonged to them. Okay, so y'all. Then we see AJ. He called Sophia, whatever like that. We saw that real quick. We see Bishop. We see Bishop, not Bishop. I don't even know what that is. We see Bishop. He's talking to Corinne about employment and stuff. And they saying, they trying to get like, who gonna work this in the church? Who gonna do this? Who gonna do this? Who gonna do that in the church? Carlton, he didn't already took a new job or whatever like that. Charity, Bishop wants to ask Charity again about the music. Yeah, the music. And May was like, no. Not at all. I said, oh my goodness. And Corinne was like, well, I could do it. I can carry a tune and press a button. And they was like, oh, okay, you hired, girl. I said, oh my God. Then we see the sister as Jacob and Tasha leave. She didn't call somebody and was like, Jacob Greenleaf then came down here. Call me as soon as you can. So I don't know. I think she called Rochelle because Macy is dead. Or is he? Because, is he dead? That would be a twist, though. But I think maybe she called Rochelle. I don't know. But I guess we'll find out on a different episode. We see Charity. She in Judy's office, handing her the music and stuff like that. Judy is weird to me. I don't like her. Like, she's skinny. And then it looked like she's skinny, but she got like muscle. It's like muscular skinny. And then she just looks weird. Like, I don't like the way she walk. I don't like the way she talk. Like, she's just, ugh. I don't like it. So she was in there trying to like get underneath Charity's skin and stuff like that, showing her the ring. Like, what do you think about this ring and stuff? And Charity was like, well, I thought it was beautiful when I got it. And she was like, yeah, maybe if I just get it resized or whatever, it'll feel better on me or something foolish she said. I was just like, ooh, Charity, don't smack her. But if you did, I wouldn't say nothing. Like, so then what she was saying, like, Charity was like, I know you're trying to make me quit, but I'm not. Like, you heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. And she was like, let me guess, you're the hare? And she was like, no, I'm Godzilla, okay? And I will be preaching, singing, and doing everything past you and Phil, okay? Because my father always wins, or something like that, she said. And then she stormed on up out of there. And Judy was looking all stupid in the face. Then we see Grace and Noah at the hospital. Child, they both realized they was unemployed. I was cracking up. Then Sophia, we see her. She come down to the hospital. Because, of course, AJ called her. So, of course, he want to visit her. She gets buzzed in and stuff like that. She brought him a sweatshirt. She gave him a hug and stuff. And he's saying, like, look, I just called you down here to say goodbye. And she was like, what? Goodbye? Like, what are you doing? Like, why did you try to kill yourself? Like, what's going on with all that or whatever? And she was just like, no, we're not doing all this. Like, I'm not letting you go again without you telling me why. Like, you need to let me know what is going on or whatever. And he don't say nothing. At first he was all like, well, you trying to make it seem like it's all dramatic and stuff. And she was like, well, that's how you opposing it. Like, what's tea? Like, tell me what's going on. Like, you can't keep coming in and out of my life. You do this again. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm done with you or whatever. Then we see Charity. She runs into Phil. He tells her that Judy said that she was real helpful and stuff. And I think he grabbed her. I had looked down, so I'm not sure if he grabbed her or not. But I think he grabbed her. And she was like, you don't get the rights to do that no more or whatever. And he was like, well, I will hope that we will be back on speaking terms of one day. And she was like, yeah, my God works miracles and all that. But I don't see that happening. And then she kind of turned and spun around and left. Then we see Tasha and Jacob. He dropping her all back off at her house. He thanks her for hooking him up with Terry. Was it Terry or Tara? I don't know. One of them T words. She invites him in, but he declines and stuff. And then she asked him that he really like her. And then she was, because at first he was like, what? Huh? She was like, I mean, like, if you like me and what? And he was like, yeah, I did like you or whatever like that. And so he was like, something. And then he was just like, yeah, but once me and Karissa get divorced, or she was divorced. Oh, okay. Like, she perked up real fast. Then she leaned in. I said, oh, you fast, Tasha. Slow the hell down. He just said when they get divorced. She leaned in and tried to kiss him or whatever. He was like, no, let's do it the right way or whatever. She was like, okay, Jacob Greenleaf, you are such a good man. And then she kind of walked out and left or whatever like that. Then we see Judy and Phil. She was basically trash talking Charity and stuff like that. You can kind of tell that Phil is over her because she was over there praying and stuff, and he just had the look of disgust on his face. I think he's gonna drop her and he gonna lose his position in the church and all that other good stuff. And I think Charity gonna take him back because she that type of chick. And I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that or whatever like that, but he made you look like a fool, girl, like a fool. So I don't know, but I think that's what's gonna happen. Then we see Karissa on the phone with her lawyer, she claimed, and she and Jacob's coming in at the same time, and she was saying like Jacob don't have no job and stuff, and he was like, is that your lawyer? And she was like, yeah. He was like, well, you need to call her back and tell her I'm not signing that paperwork because I want split custody. And she was like, what? Split custody? Oh, you want your daddy to go to jail or whatever? And he was like, well, I'm finna find out if that's gonna happen. And she was like, what are you talking about? Jacob. And then he go on down the steps and stuff. So we see, oh, I told you about the Sophia and AJ. I had mended that in, but that's when we had went back and then whatever. So then we see Bishop. He on a exercise bike, child, trying to get his pulse. Talk about he don't want no surprises when he goes to the doctor. Jacob like, look, can you get off of that thing? Because I really want to talk to you and stuff. And so he was like, oh, don't even worry about it. I'm getting off this right now. So he get off. He swing. He was swinging his leg. I said, that's how we stretch. But he was swinging his leg to stretch and stuff like that. Jacob was like, Dad, if I ask you something, I need you to tell me the truth. I don't care what it is, but I need you to tell me the truth. He was like, all right, what is it? Whatever. So he was like, did you call Daryl down to the church that night he got killed? And he was like, why would you ask me something? He was like, Dad, just tell me, did you call him down into the church? He was like, no, I ain't call him down there. So then he was like, did you know, that Loretta Davis left this house to Daryl? And he was like, she left this house to me. It's in the will. He was like, I found another will and it says that this house was supposed to be his or whatever. And he was like, no, this is the first time I'm hearing this. Why? What is going on? And Jacob was like, it's complicated. And then he walked on out or whatever. Then we see May. She go to see Charity and stuff, and she had found like an old hymn book of hers, and inside the hymn book, Charity had wrote Reverend Charity Greenleaf or whatever. And so May was like, it's always been in you to be a reverend and stuff. And Charity was like, yeah, because music wasn't my dream or whatever. And I was like, you could have fooled me. I mean, like, I guess the first episode she was trying to talk about preaching and having like women's things and all this other stuff. But I mean, she can sing, so I don't see why it wouldn't be her dream. But I can't see Charity as no pastor. I can see Charity as like doing like motivation. Yeah, I can see her doing like motivational speeches at like conferences and stuff like that. But a pastor, I don't know. I can't really see Charity be a pastor. I'm not saying she would be bad, but I'm just saying I just can't see it. But at any rate, she was saying like May was telling her like Corinne accepted the music position and that the associate pastor position still stands. Excuse me. Still stands. And so Charity was like, well, I'm gonna let you know about it, or if I accept it or whatever. And so that was it for that. We see Grace. She pacing the floor. Noah like, girl, sit down. Every time that door opened up, she looking and stuff. And he was like, sit down. She was like, I can't. That's my son. Noah like, yeah, he my son too. Like, sit down, okay? So Sophia finally come out and she was like, he wants to see you or whatever. I was like, finally, Jesus, Christmas trees in heaven. Like, he finally want to see her. So he finally want to see her, whatever like that. He says when she goes in there or whatever, he was like, I got something to tell you. And after I tell you, I don't want to discuss it or whatever like that. She was like, okay, no problem, whatever. So he was like, he's sick of being treated like the puzzle nobody don't understand or everyone is trying to figure out or whatever. So then she was just like, so then his secret is he was raped in prison. And he was like, when I went to prison, I was raped and a bitch who raped me gave me HIV. That's it. or what do you say? No, this is my life. This is my situation or whatever like that. And then Grace don't say nothing. We just see the tears streaming in her face. And then it was the end of the episode. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen next week or whatever, child. I think AJ is going, I mean, he might as well live with them. They got money. They can afford the medication. He can live a long, prosperous life with HIV or whatever like that. Just take the medication and stuff. And was that the reason why he was robbing the drugstore? Because I really think that was him. I don't think it was that guy. I think it was AJ who robbed that pharmacy or whatever like that. Is that why he robbed the pharmacy to get antivirals or whatever? I wonder. That's interesting to know. But anyway, I enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I am spoiled and I want to see the next episode right away. So, but I can't. I gotta wait till next Tuesday like everybody else. Anyway, y'all, if y'all like the content of this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all, I will talk to y'all later. I'm going to watch Family or Fiance because I done got hooked in on this sneak peek. So I'm going to figure out what's going on with that. I'm probably not going to review it, but I want to be nosy and see what's going to happen with this family here. But anyway, y'all, I will talk to y'all another time. Peace.